Every woman, at some point, has wondered, will he even miss me? It's a painful question, especially after giving so much of yourself to someone who couldn't see your value. But here's the truth. The woman he regrets losing isn't the one who chased him, begged for attention, or stayed silent to keep the peace. She's the one who chose herself, quietly, powerfully, and without apology. You don't become unforgettable by being easy to reach or available at every call. You become unforgettable by having standards, holding your boundaries, and walking away when those things aren't respected. This isn't about revenge or playing games. It's about rising into your highest self, the version of you that radiates confidence, peace, and purpose. The woman he remembers? She didn't try to prove her worth. She knew it already. If you're ready to become that woman, the one who leaves a lasting mark, here's how ***, one of the most common traps women fall into in dating and relationships, is trying to become his type. You meet someone, feel a connection, and before you know it, you're adjusting your personality, softening your opinions, changing your style, or lowering your expectations just to keep his interest. It may feel harmless at first. After all, isn't compromise a part of love? But here's the hard truth. When you abandon who you are in an attempt to fit someone else's ideal, you don't just lose his respect over time. You lose yourself. The girl a man truly regrets losing isn't the one who made herself convenient or agreeable to please him. It's the woman who had a clear sense of identity, who knew what she brought to the table, and who didn't shrink herself for anyone. She didn't ask, what kind of woman do I need to be to keep him? She asked, does this man even deserve access to me? That shift, from trying to impress him to assessing if he aligns with your standards, is where your power lives. Being unforgettable isn't about being the prettiest or the most accommodating. It's about being the woman who's unapologetically herself, who brings value, kindness, depth, and confidence, and knows that those things are non-negotiable. Men don't regret losing the woman who tried to fit in. They regret losing the woman who stood out, the one who had boundaries, the one who expected effort, the one who could walk away if she wasn't met with respect. So instead of chasing someone's approval, anchor yourself in your own. When you stop trying to be his type and start being your standard, you won't need to chase love. You'll attract the kind that matches your worth. ***, setting boundaries is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect, and one of the most attractive traits you can carry into any relationship. Yet, many people fear that having boundaries will scare someone away. So they tolerate behavior that doesn't sit right with them, make excuses for red flags, and silence their needs to keep the peace. But peace without honesty isn't peace. It's quiet suffering. The truth is, the woman a man regrets losing is not the one who accepted everything just to keep him. It's the one who had the courage to say, this isn't good enough for me, and meant it. Boundaries are not ultimatums. They are clear expressions of what you will and will not allow into your life. And here's the key. Boundaries only work if you're willing to enforce them. It's not enough to say, I won't tolerate being disrespected, and then stay when it happens. That sends the message that your words are empty. But when you calmly remove yourself from situations or people that don't meet your standards, you show that your self-worth is not up for debate. That quiet strength is unforgettable. It doesn't come from yelling or controlling. It comes from walking away with grace when someone no longer aligns with your values. And it's in that moment, when he sees that you're not trying to punish him, but you're simply done explaining what should have already been clear, that the regret begins. Because now he realizes you're not just a woman with feelings. You're a woman with standards. And once you've walked away with your dignity intact, you become the one he remembers. Not because you begged to stay, but because you had the strength to leave. ***, One of the most powerful things you can do when someone starts pulling away is this: don't chase them. It sounds simple, but in the moment, it feels counterintuitive. When someone you care about grows distant, your instincts scream at you to fix it, to text again, to call, to make things right. But chasing someone who's choosing to pull away doesn't bring them closer. It only shows them they don't have to put in effort to keep you. And over time, it teaches them that your love is guaranteed, even if their behavior isn't. The woman a man truly regrets losing isn't the one who begged for attention or tried to force connection. It's the one who noticed the shift and stepped back, not out of ego, but out of self-respect. She allowed him to feel what life is like without her presence, her energy, her consistency. And that absence speaks volumes. See, chasing might give you temporary closeness, but it robs you of long-term clarity. Because if you always show up when he doesn't, you'll never know if he actually values you, or just the comfort of awe. Having you there, letting him feel the loss isn't about manipulation. It's about protecting your energy and letting people show you who they are when you stop filling in all the gaps. If he comes back with genuine effort, you'll know. If he doesn't, you've saved yourself from holding on to someone who is already letting go. Either way, you win. Because the girl who doesn't chase, the one who quietly walks away and rebuilds her peace, that's the one he thinks about later. Not because she tried to prove her worth, but because she knew it already. Asterisk, when a relationship ends or starts to fade, it's tempting to make your glow up a performance, to post the perfect photos, show off the new lifestyle, or subtly throw shade. But here's the truth. Real growth doesn't need an audience. The woman a man regrets losing isn't the one who tried to make him jealous or prove how happy she is without him. It's the one who leveled up quietly, with no drama, no bitterness, and no need for validation. When you focus on truly bettering yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically, not to get revenge, but because you deserve more, that energy is powerful. It's authentic, and people can feel the difference. You're not pretending to be unbothered. You actually are. You're not trying to make him regret losing you. You're becoming someone who no longer even needs that closure. That's the shift. You're building a life so full, so peaceful, and so aligned that whether or not he watches from a distance becomes irrelevant. Your glow-up isn't about appearance. It's about presence. Confidence in how you carry yourself. Clarity in your boundaries. Joy that doesn't depend on external validation. And trust me, when he does see you, thriving, growing, grounded, not posting cryptic quotes or playing games, but truly at peace with yourself, that's when it hits. Not because you tried to make him feel something, but because you didn't have to. So don't level up for revenge. Don't level up to be seen. Do it because you outgrew the version of yourself who tolerated less than she deserved. And that kind of growth, that's unforgettable. That's what makes you the one he never forgets. Not because you chased his attention, but because you outgrew the need for it entirely. Asterisk, loving someone deeply is a beautiful strength. But losing yourself in the process is where the danger lies. A woman he regrets losing is not the one who gave up everything to keep the connection alive. It's the one who loved fully, passionately, and wholeheartedly, without sacrificing her identity. Too many people confuse devotion with self-abandonment. They silence their needs to avoid conflict. They downplay their goals to be more supportive. They twist themselves into what the other person wants, all in the name of love. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't require you to become smaller. It invites you to become more of who you are. The woman who becomes unforgettable is the one who brings love to the table, not dependency. She knows how to give, but she also knows how to protect her own energy, her boundaries, and her purpose. She doesn't disappear into a relationship. She maintains her life, her passions, and her voice. That's what makes her magnetic. Because the moment you lose yourself, you stop being the very person he was drawn to in the first place. And when you eventually walk away, not because you stopped loving him, but because you started choosing yourself, that's the moment he feels the loss. Not because you are needy, but because you are rare. A woman who can love deeply, while still standing firmly in who she is, that's the kind of love he realizes he can't replace. So love boldly. Show up with your whole heart, but never let love cost you you. Because the strongest relationships are built not on losing yourself for someone, but on two whole people choosing each other without ever needing to be less. Asterisk. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who knows when to walk away, not with anger, not with drama, but with grace. She doesn't need to slam doors, throw blame, or create chaos. Her silence says everything. Her calm exit carries more weight than any emotional outburst ever could. And that's exactly why she becomes unforgettable. The truth is, many people expect you to stay, to beg, to break down, especially when they've taken your kindness for weakness. But when you respond with grounded strength, when you say, "This no longer aligns with who I am or what I deserve," and you mean it, you leave a lasting impression. The woman he regrets losing is the one who knew her worth enough to walk, not to prove a point, but to protect her peace. She didn't stay in spaces where she had to keep reminding someone of her value. She chose herself, quietly, confidently, and completely. And that kind of energy isn't easy to replace. Anyone can leave in anger, but walking away with dignity, with a full heart and a clear mind, takes emotional maturity. You're not trying to make him regret it. You're simply choosing a life where you're honored, not questioned. A love where you are met, not tolerated. The irony? That grace, that peace, is often what haunts someone the most, because you didn't fight to stay. You didn't compete for a place. You knew that losing you would be his loss, not yours. So if you're ever faced with that moment, the choice between staying small or walking away with self-respect, choose grace. Because that's the version of you he'll never forget. The one who didn't need revenge to be powerful. She simply left and never looked back. Asterisk.